Hey, how are you? I want to take a few minutes and talk about something really quickly. There's a lot of talk about 5G, and I don't really know if many people understand what's really going on there energetically. It's hard for maybe people to grasp the concept of energy and how it grids and how it connects and the circuitry of it all and everything. And if you're not well versed in psychic abilities or being able to witness or view or see or sense energy like that, then you might have a hard time getting your head wrapped around it. So I did this because this is what I see all the time in my head. I see it with everything. My guides are always talking about it with me. It's really important for us to understand this. This here is 3G. You see that? I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to just turn this a little bit here. See that? There. This here. This is 3G. This is what we've had all the way up until about 10 years ago or so, when they started developing different, and this, I'm just getting this from my guide, so 10 years ago or so, when they started developing different, more advanced technology, right? I mean, honestly. So this is like your radio waves, this is broadband, things like that, in its primitive times and in its original use and everything was good. It connected the world, right? We had like telegraph and phone lines and that kind of capability. And of course that became obsolete and we needed to have something a little more faster and a little more uh, profitable. That's the word. Anyway, so they come up with 4G. 4G is where they bring it all a little bit more closer together. So these are like fishing nets. If you think about it, you're not going to catch a lot of fish with a big net that's like full of like huge holes, right? You're going to have like this open space they're going to be able to get through, and things are going to be able to move freely, not necessarily trapping or holding anything together, and just rather flexible. 4G comes along though, and they pull that fishing net together a little bit closer with us. They pull the grid together a little bit closer and tighter. And I always say it's like fishnet stockings to definite nylons. There's a big difference. You can breathe through fishnet, but you can't breathe very well through nylons. It's very suffocating and stifling and whatnot. So 4G brings us to a little bit closer, tighter knit energetic circuitry. And we're electromagnetic beings. We are energy beings. We have to have this this expansion and contraction of our energy fields and things like that. We're all covered, like we are all energy fields, right? Like we have all of this wonderful space around us that actually belongs to us, 6 to 12 feet off your physical body. That's where I go to read people. Anyway, here we go. So 4G comes along, and everybody's great with 4G because we have faster communication now. It doesn't take as long to send an email across the world or to wherever. There isn't the great long delay in communications. When I was growing up, my grandmother lived in England, and when we called her, of course they were 5 hours ahead or whatnot, but there was this delay. You'd say hello, and then you have to wait for like a minute before she actually heard you and responded, and you could hear the echo coming back at you. So that went away with this advanced technology. So they pulled the circuitry in a little bit closer. This is 5G. You see this? There's nothing. It's like nylons. How are we supposed to breathe through that? And what does that do to our own electromagnetic fields? And not only what does it do to our electromagnetic fields, but how does that affect our physical bodies? Because ultimately, in the most condensed version of us all, of that energy, we are the dense matter that is manifested. How does that affect us? So people don't really understand what that means, but I can tell you. It affects you in many, many, many ways. And one of them is it decreases your ability to function fully and at the fullest capacity and potential of the human experience. So what happens in that is that your immune system is decreased and depleted a little bit. You're subjected and susceptible to other energetic energy related illnesses or symptoms, I want to call them, because everything is energy and everything is energy related and everything is energy illness and symptoms. Everything is energy. So but what I mean is like migraines and stuff like that. When we have a lot of heavy energy in the atmosphere and the ceiling's low in the sky and stuff like that, they talk about the low ceiling, the barometric pressure, that's what we're feeling, that's what we're responding to. People get migraines and they get all kinds of debilitating things that inhibit them or prohibit them rather from being able to function properly. Like we're kind of like computers. We're kind of like robots, really. I mean, it's kind of weird to say that, but whatever. Anyway, so I wanted to sort of just bring this to people's attention because I'm going to be talking about this on one of the Gabs. We're going to get into this a little bit more. We're going to talk about the different effects of it and why they're using it. What that means. When they talk about the Tesla death ray and things like that, those are real. Those are real. He did invent this thing where it magnified and amplified the energy so strongly that it could kill you. It could kill us. It could blow us up. Basically, your body can't function on that kind of circuitry. So when they're doing this to us, intentional, and you know what gets me? This is what gets me. They're here too. So if they're doing this to us, they're living in it with us. I don't understand why they don't realize that's going to help them or affect them as well. And maybe they have figured out ways to prevent them. The electromagnetic frequency deterrents you can find. You can find them on the internet all over the place. There's hats you can buy, toques. There's all kinds of stuff that, when you go to the dentist and they go to take your x-rays or whatever, and even when you used to go to the doctor, they would give you a lead blanket. So things like that certainly do affect. And they do work. They have an impact. Anyhow, we're all going to be subjected to this. That's their plan. And so that's all part and parcel. That's just one dot of this whole experience that we're all going through and growing through right now. We're meant to expand beyond this. To break this down, dismantle this, and change it from G to D. From G, from 5G to 5D, fifth dimensional. Let's think about that. Have a fabulous day.